Hi, welcome. I'm Mary and I hook books. I crochet things inspired by books, mostly audiobooks, mostly science fiction, horror, mystery, thriller, and a couple other genres sprinkled throughout. Today, I am going to tell you about my very prolific reading month and hooking month of December. One by One by Freida McFadden. It's a Freida. She is really good. Munster thinks so too. She's really good at writing unlikable characters. Like, I didn't like any of these people, but somehow she made me care about what happened to them. And Munster, well, he's been loud all day. I can't really say just when I sit down to film. But Mama has been working too much, so babies are very needy these days. Blah. Yes. Anyway, Freida McFadden, she's just a really great popcorn read, and this wasn't the best, but it was enjoyable. If You Lie was getting a lot of hype, and it seemed like something I would really like. It's basically Nexium on a boat. And this, again, sounds like something I should have loved. The execution was just okay. And by the end, I was like, that's it. I was on this whole ride, this whole time. That's it. I liked some of the plot points, but the execution just didn't do it for me. I did, however, do a cute little tapestry crochet color work bag, and it may have been a pretty mediocre book, but I really love this bag. I like to go between cozy mysteries and darker things, so I found out one of the first cozy mystery series I ever read, the Whisky Business series, had 2 more books. When I initially read the series, there were only 4, so 2 more books have come out, and I can't even remember what it's called. In the Still of the Night. They're all cute little alcohol-related puns, adorable. And our main character, I really do like this character. She was a photojournalist. She's very independent. She's very smart. She's a lot of what I love in a heroine in any kind of book. This particular book, though, like, it did feel like we were just kind of chugging along. It definitely was not the best entry into this series. It was okay, but there wasn't as much coziness as I would like in my cozy mysteries. The mystery was, I wouldn't want to say straightforward, but like her process of figuring out was a primary focus of the book, which, yes, it's a mystery book. They need to solve the mystery. But the emphasis on that was overshadowing the other things I love about the series. So I will read the next book. I still enjoyed it, but not my favorite. I committed to something crazy that I saw on the Scottish Yarn Festival website, and so I made the Scottish Yarn Festival, I think it was like their flag or their icon, in this different kind of tapestry crochet than I have done before. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I did kind of love it. I made a big effort to continue in series last year, and I still have to make that video because I did so good at that goal. One of the books that I really enjoyed was Pilot X, and the first one was kind of mind-bending. And the second is called Trigor, and it just fell so flat for me. The end of the first book had this huge cliffhanger, and I was just, my gasts were flabbered. So I really enjoyed it. I had high expectations, and I was kind of let down. So I think you can just skip this sequel, really. Or if you don't read as much sci-fi as I do, if you don't read as much parallel dimension time travel stuff as me, you might like it more than me. I just thought that it did a lot of worn tropes in not very new and imaginative ways. The characters were okay, but I didn't fall in love with any of them, so meh. One thing I did like is some of the world building was kind of cute, and in this new world, pineapples are a thing, are a very integral part of things. So, pineapple. I get up for 2 seconds, and I lose my chair. I hope you can't hear my air conditioner, but it is January in Texas, which means I need the air conditioner. Anyway, I also listened to the downloaded 2 Ghosts in the Machine, and this was doing so much, and it did all of it successfully, which is very rare and incredible. And I looked for more by this author, and I think he mostly writes short stories, and I think science fiction and horror are very good in short stories, but I wish he wrote more long form stuff because this was so good. It did so much philosophically, and with like the sci-fi mind experiments, and it made me care for the characters. This was so surprisingly incredible. And it had Brendan Fraser. So it's very, very good. The first book, these people are downloaded, hence the downloaded, out of virtual reality, and they find out that the world has ended. And in the second book, it's gonna end again. So what are we gonna do about it? And one of the options is to go to Mars, where people have apparently lived for like 400 years, and they are now taller and have blue skin to help them absorb solar radiation or something. They Cling to the Hull is another sequel, and in the first book, there's this building that appears out of nowhere, and this architect goes in to see what the heck is up, because that shouldn't be possible. In this, there's a ship that shouldn't be possible either, and there's all sorts of like parallel dimension, culty craziness, and monster starfish. Chaos at the Lazy Bones Bookshop. I really do love a cozy, and I love super dark, so, you know, life is all about balance, right? And I enjoyed this cute town that is basically Halloween themed, and this hometown boy that left for the big city comes back as part of a ghost hunting show, and they cause chaos. And of course, you know, murder and friendship and puppies ensue. This really was adorable, and I already have the second one reserved from the library. And I did make this cute little bun hat with Halloween purple and black theme and a little skeleton. Whispers in the Wind is another sequel. It is the fourth in the Fetch Phillips series. This is a very interesting combination of detective noir and high fantasy, and I shouldn't like it, but I love it. I enjoy Fetch. He has such a good heart, but he is so incredibly burned out. At the end of the last book, I thought it was the end of the series, because it did actually end in a pretty good spot to end the series. But I hope we get more books, because this one ended on a cliffhanger. Sorry if that's spoilers, but there had better be a fifth book soon. In this one, our protagonist has given up his life as a private eye in a fantasy land that has lost its magic. And he is just manning this cafe until the cafe owner gets back from his epic personal quest. And we are like, oh yeah, it's just gonna be a simple life. I just want a simple life. Too bad there are revolutions being planned in my cafe that I get roped into. So I liked the characters, I like the world. I generally don't like high fantasy, but I do enjoy this world building. And for some reason, all the murders in this world smell like peppermint. A book I technically read in November but forgot to talk about in my wrap-up for some reason is Play Nice. And I love Rachel Harrison so much. I love the way she writes female friendship and relationships and family. And she writes cozy horror, so I think people who don't like her stuff don't have those kind of expectations, because it usually is shelved with horror, but it's more usually family with like a horror backdrop or friendship with a horror backdrop, which is why most of the time, even though it says I read a lot of horror, I don't find most of it scary. Just because there's a witch or a demon or a vampire doesn't mean something is horror. It doesn't mean it's going to be scary, but I mean, I guess cozy horror is a thing, and this is cozy horror. A family grows up in a house with a demon in the closet, and no one believes the mom or the youngest child. And we meet these children, these sisters, like 20 years later after their mom died, and the youngest one goes back to clean out the house, and she decides to renovate it for content. And the demon comes back. I mean, I guess it probably never left. It was still in the house. But she has to deal with it now as an adult. And I loved this. The family, the relationships are just so real. It's incredible. And they always share, as sisters, an ice cream banana sundae, even though none of them likes the bananas. It's tradition. It's a sister thing. In my quest to read more sequels, I picked back up Coffeehouse Mysteries, and it's such a great cozy, but they're really leaning into more like genuine mystery, almost mystery thriller in the later books, so it's an interesting evolution. But like most cozies, you can kind of pick up almost anywhere and you'll get clues that you need to figure out what's going on. The first one that I picked up was Murder by Mocha. This one had so much going on. I mean, Mocha goes perfectly with coffee, and this new chocolatier is selling her Mocha, her chocolate, as aphrodisiacs, and there's something a little funny about this chocolate, and it is working a little too well. This one was good, but it felt kind of bloated. Most cozy mysteries are less than 300 pages. This one is almost 400. So, yeah, there was a lot going on. It didn't do it all successfully. But I've been really into tapestry and colorwork crochet. This is actually Tunisian colorwork crochet. And I mean, coffee and chocolate makes rainbows, right? At least it makes us feel like rainbows, like the world might be okay until we finish this cup. In A Brew to a Kill, also in the Coffeehouse Mystery series, Claire Cozy, our main protagonist and manager of the Village Blend coffee shop, gets a food truck, and her husband, ex-husband, who is also her partner, also gets kind of into things that he shouldn't. Typical ex-husband. And they fight over the financial viability. They also have to fight with this really obnoxious cupcake lady and her food truck that follows them around. And there's some car stuff, which is kind of interesting. There's some cool relationship stuff going on. There's some character progression. So this is kind of a return to form for the series, and I did quite enjoy it. Holiday buzz. Buzz, like coffee gives you a buzz. Yeah, cozies are huge on puns, and I love it. And in this one, we have an Irish immigrant, and something obviously happens to her. It is a cozy mystery. Almost every book, someone dies. And we have to figure out who she really was, because her story doesn't add up. Everyone loved her as an employee or as a friend, but no one really knew who she was. And this is the first in the series that plays with timelines. Usually, cozy mysteries and the cozy mysteries in this series are very chronological, but this played with timelines in a way that was kind of interesting and different for a cozy mystery. And because of our Irish victim in this story, our Irish character, I made an Irish themed Christmas stocking. Munster seems slightly interested in what's going on outside, so I may get my chair back. In the meantime, I'll tell you about Brother, and I can't remember who recommended this, but thank you, and are you okay? This Appalachian cannibal people, like, just there we go. And it gets darker from there. This was a very, I would say, moderate but well-paced, twisted, well set up, messed up mystery, thriller, horror. This had me just, my gasts were flabbered. My flabbers were gassed. It's so dark. Like, I had to read a bunch of cozy mysteries afterward because this is so dark. But it was so good. Do check any content warnings that you may need because it's got a lot going on. I don't want to say too much. I feel like that's a great enough premise. And if you are like a mystery thriller like reader, pick it up. Yeah, Red Bunny. That should tell you something about how dark this gets. You Better Watch Out had so much going for it. It had From vibes and Dexter vibes and Saw. And, it's a Christmas thriller, so those get a little bit of a pass on a couple things, but it just fumbled the execution. I wasn't scared. I didn't like the characters. It just fumbled. Like, the execution, just very disappointing, unfortunately. I made these gloves. They were part of a Christmas package, so they are already gone, but I do love them. I love making these granny square gloves every year. The 10 Days of Christmas. Doctor Who and Christmas, they just go together. It's tradition. I got this from the library. They just got it in this year, and this was a overall very good collection of short stories. Hot take, don't come for me. 10 is not my favorite, and I think Rose is overrated. So, don't send me too much hate, fellow Whovians. I love all the doctors. So I prefer collections with all the doctors, so you get little bits from all of the timeline. But almost. I think there were like 3 that were okay or didn't work for me. But these were all very fun, cute stories and Christmas Whovian vibes. And of course, gotta rock the Tardis hat. I listened to a non-fiction this month, My Hygge Home. If you're not familiar with Hygge, it's kind of the Dutch idea of coziness. It encompasses a lot more than that, but your environment, creating an environment and an attitude of enjoying the little things and enjoying what you have. So this particular entry, I have read 2 other books in this series by this author, The Little Book of Hygge and The Little Book of Luca, and they're all really good. This one is a little bit more specific on how to make your home work for you for productivity and mental health, and I really enjoyed that. I finished the Good Boys series. I am doing so good at the series challenge this year. Hopefully that'll continue in 2026. But I finished this series with the 3rd book, The Visionary, and there's a lot. This is the 3rd book, so the premise is the Kainolari are dog-like aliens, and the 1st book is about the lost tribe of Kainolari, and they are our canines, and something that has happened over millennia has made them go from intelligent alien creatures to our furry friends. And this is very action-packed. It's very funny. It's puppies, and like doggies are just they're such good boys. So I loved this series overall, and at the end of this book it made my heart happy. So it wasn't a perfect book necessarily, but I think I gave it 5 stars for how it made me feel. And I made this little Yorkie, and it has already found its new home, and she loves it so much, and that makes me so happy. 6 Wakes is such an interesting world where you can get cloned and basically live forever, and you're always your own heir, so you keep your stuff and your memories as you go from life to life. So it had me thinking for a while, and I love that. But we also have the central mystery. These 6 people wake up and something has gone horribly wrong. because when you wake up as a new clone, you're supposed to have the latest download of what your last iteration knew and what happened to them. And they don't have anything from the last 25 years. So they have to piece together not just why they all woke up and everyone is dead, but what the last 25 years looked like on this spaceship that they're on. And I liked the spattering of like what was going on in their lives previously. Sometimes that can get a little distracting, or like I don't really care, but it really added to the world building, and so I really enjoyed it and how it was done in this book. So this is a very good mystery in space. And I made this scarf with pockets, and it's the I think Big Twist Twinkle or Glitter Sparkle, something like that. So yeah, it has these pretty little gold sparkles to represent space and stars. My last read for the month was Zoe Ash, #1, Futuristic Violence and Fancy Suits. And we have a very interesting and frightening realistic look at the near future. This girl, Zoe, is living in a trailer, and she is hunted by a serial killer on basically Facebook Live. And then the person who saves her says, oh yeah, by the way, your dad was a gajillionaire, so he just died, you gotta come with us. This was it was a little too realistic, and sometimes the misogyny was a little too much, and I didn't want to keep going. Our main character is so cool. She is independent and strong and really knows herself and what she wants. And she's got a really great sense of humor. The characters were what was really great in this book. The story was pretty good. The world was a little too scary for me, so I'm not sure I'm going to continue in the series, but we'll see. My library has the 3rd one, but not the 2nd one. So this happy little accident happens to take place in the holiday season. And of course, being a gajillionaire, this guy has an entire room literally made of gingerbread. And I was so overwhelmed last Christmas. I started in late August, and I still barely feel like I finished getting enough stuff for people for Christmas. So we're gonna start in January, the end of December, beginning of January, with these cute little gingerbreads. And I actually made a whole tutorial. I did not come up with this pattern, but I did make it mine, and you can watch me make these infinitely little customizable gingerbread house ornaments in that video. I will try to remember to link it down below. So that was my very productive December. Kind of glad it's over and I can just chill a little bit, but I read some really great books. Let me know what your best books of December and last year were, what you're planning on reading next. Spoiler alert, I did not get my chair back in this video, but that's okay. I said it's okay. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I am so flabbergasted. I have used that like 3 times today. That my channel has grown so much lately. It's still so tiny, but it's amazing that so many new people are here. And I really just started doing this because my students told me that they wanted me to and that they would watch me. So the fact that there are people watching me from the UK, from Canada, I had somebody in Japan, and I think someone had it translated into Dutch. So, like, hi! Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you stick around for more crochet, books, and cats. And as always, take care of yourself, especially in the US. It's really bad cold and flu season right now. And keep your shoulders back, your heads up, and breathe.